Good morning. It's just so good to be back. It seems like it was a siege, and I'm hoping this is it. And Hoshana Rabbah, as you know, which is today, is supposed to be the very end of the penitential period, and this is it. This is when the gates get really locked. So the year is determined by today. So please God, God will be kind to us. Just another bit of information is that I got an email from Shira Beth Rosenshine, and I think she is hoping to join us once again, although it's Erev Yontif, and I don't expect to see her today, but I'm certainly hoping that we will get to see her in the near future. Perhaps, who knows, Shira Beth on Thursday, perhaps, who knows. That would be wonderful to be able to see her once again. Let me get to the screen share, and I felt that it made sense since it wasn't Simchat Torah yet, and we hadn't finished up Dvarim, that we should do that, even though it's crazy because we'll only have Thursday, God willing, Thursday and Friday, which to look at the
So exciting.
I know, it is exciting.
Starting again. It's always so exciting.
Yes. All right. Let's hope I can do this. Okay, so let me start off again with the bracha, just welcoming everyone who is watching this and thanking them for being part of this, and to know that they're always welcome. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. So, thank you. Okay, so I have the arrow here, but I'm pretty certain that we did this little part here, or did we not? Midabrotecha, right? Did we not discuss this? I'm pretty sure that we talked about it. Yes. Okay, I don't think we did this far. I'm trying to... Okay, do you remember Rashi's point here? And that is because in the rest of this part here... Okay, sorry. I don't know what that happened there, but we'll try. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Okay. Yisa midabrotecha. So the question is this crazy mem. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of, because we had another one, May Rivavot Kodesh, remember? And there was another mem that could have been understood. Remember? This May Rivavot could have been understood as from. And Rashi says, no, it is not. It is part of the shimush. It's part of the construction of the verb. So, yeah. So we have a similar kind of wayward mem here as well. That's where I had my mark, and that's why I'm confusing it possibly. Okay. And Dabrotecha, we did talk about that. Okay. And here, of course, Nasu alehem ol Toratcha. That is, so this word, I explained, I remember telling you that the word davar can mean a cattle prod. Do you remember that? And not just dibur, meaning speech, from your words. So here they carried upon themselves the yoke of your Torah,
Dax. All right, Dax. He's helping. Yes, we did the cattle prod part. You have that written down.
But now he goes on.
Going back to muting because.
Yes, I understand. Well, please feel free to unmute when you want to ask a question or anything like that. All right, midabrotecha. So here's Rashi saying, Hamim bo karov leyasod. And again, he makes this point that it isn't necessarily amen meaning from. It could also be part of the construction of the verb itself. Okay? And he gives examples. Okay? So here we go. This is I don't think this is an example that would be misunderstood. So in Numbers 7, Vayishma et hakol midaber elav, right? He heard the voice speaking to him. Right? And Ezekiel, Va'eshma et medaber elai. I heard the one speaking to me, kamo mitdaber. So he says this is actually not a PL PL form, but it's almost like a hitpael form, and the hitpael form is in construction very similar to the PL form, except it has this taf in it, which is the reflexive form of the verb. The hitpael is the seventh construction, and it is the reflexive construction. And I can give you a beautiful example in the word lavash. The word lavash, not to be confused with any French type of confection, in Hebrew means to wear. So ani lovesh beged means I wear a suit, okay? And on the other hand, if I want to say I'm dressing somebody, I would say ani malbish so-and-so. That's the hifil, the causative form, malbish. And if I want to say I'm getting dressed, you would say ani, listen carefully, mitlavesh. Mitlavesh. So that's that mit, right? Except what happens, okay, here we go, okay, mitdaber elai. I heard as if it's saying, speaking to me, something like that. Af ze midabrotecha, right? Even, so he says this too is as if it says mitdabrotecha, and the reason it doesn't say there's no taf in it, Rashi, I believe, is saying, is that the ta and the da are both dental sounds, and so that the taf gets elided into the da. Okay? So let's see how he's going to parse this out. Ma shehayita medaber, that which you spoke, lahashmi eni, to convince me, right? To influence me, lemor, saying to them, lemor lahem. Okay, this is a French expression that he's using here. Toi, I guess, or tu, pour par.
It's te.
Yeah. Okay.
Pour parler d'eux.
Oh, really? So is it come from, we know that in French, right, parler is to speak, right? So I'm intending to speak to you, or something like that. Balas.
Here it says, renders the phrase Yisa midabrotecha as they traveled according to your commands.
Yes.
But so I don't know.
No. That's exactly the point, right? Right. And in a way, it's going on with us, but going on with the explanation he gave before. Anyway, here's the Yiddish. Deine Unterrednungen. Your commands. I imagine Unterrednungen would be commands. By your deine would be yours, or thy commands. The Onkelos, he says.
That's what I was, yeah.
Onkelos, Tirgame, he interpreted Shahayu nosim al pi devarecha. He says he understands it as that they would journey by means of your. I think he still means commands.
Yeah. So what I read was Onkelos. I just kind of glossed over the Onkelos thing. It didn't translate the French. It just said Onkelos renders.
Yes.
Phrase as. Track according to your commands.
Well, look at this, okay?
Yeah, my JPS says charged.
Interesting.
Charged us with the teaching.
Yes. Yeah. But this is going on a little bit and talking about their journeys. And in fact, okay, let me keep going, and then it's sort of raising some metaphoric implications here, okay? Here we go. Look at this, okay? Apekinun mimitzra. Okay, here. Beit Yisrael bigvura apekinun mimitzra means the house of Israel in power, right? Left Egypt. ve'inun, and they midabrim techot. So it sounds to me here that they are, so midabrim, I sure would love to look in the Jastrow and see how he translates midabrim. Techot ananach, under your clouds. Natlin al meimach, they take themselves by your words, by your commands. So he has this whole thing. Okay, so v'hem tukula ragecha, he translates this v'inun midabrim techot ananach. So maybe what it means is they gather, I'm guessing, right, just from context, under your cloud of glory, and natlin, they journey. Here we go, right? Yisami dabrotecha. This is what Rashi is referring to. They journey by means of your command, your commands. So let's keep going. He's got quite a bit to say here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong line.
Okay.
Pronouncements is the word.
Yes. Nice.
Accepting, yes.
Yes, nice. Perfect.
Pronouncements.
Right.
Ooh.
So Rashi here, back in here, if you can follow, and the mem v'hamem bo shimush. And in this particular case, the mem it is from, by. It's a preposition. It's not part of the construction. Mishameshet lashon mem, which has the implication of this min. It's an abbreviation, right? It's let's see. It's a preposition that's attached. Like when you say, instead of min something, you say mi or may or something. So there it's a preposition. Davar acher. Wow. He goes into another possibility. Remember, this is poetry. And we talked a little bit about poetry when we started this whole discussion of Vat Vezot Bracha. Okay, davar acher. Af chovav amim. So that's the verse itself, right? So he says, Af chovev amim. So it sounds to me, even this, whatever this af means, right? Indeed, perhaps. Chovev amim. So amim are people. Chovev lechavev means to befriend, to have affection for, right? Affection. So it could be referring to God, but let's see what's saying here. Af b'shavat chibatan shel ha'umot. He's so interesting. He's translating af chovev amim as even at the time when the nations showed an affection for you. And this is how he's taking this. Af b'shaat chibatan shel ha'umot. Even at a time when the nations showed affection, or you showed affection to them, a time when affection was shown to the nations, right? I mean, it's not, you have to sort of work this through to get the meaning. It's not always so directly clear from the Hebrew.
Yeah, but here it says, when you displayed your affection toward the nations.
Right. So I'm parsing this out with you as we go. Shir ita lahem panim sochakot. So Rashi's clarifying it, that you showed to them, you displayed to them, panim sochakot. It's like it means like literally it means a happy face. But when you showed them favor, that's what it would mean. Well, you showed favor towards the other nations. Umasarta et Yisrael b'yadam, and you showed them favor by placing the Jewish people under their control, right? Interesting. So he's talking about a time of adversity for the Jewish people. And then going on, Kol Kedoshav Biyadecha, right? All the holy ones, all of his holy ones were in your hands. So again, Moses is addressing God here, right? Kol Tzadikehem V'Tovehem, all their righteous people, in other words, all the righteous people and the good people of the Jewish people, Davku Bacha, they still clung to you. Velo mashu acharecha, they did not withhold following you. They didn't, loosen their hold on you. Va'ata shomram, and you guarded them. Wow. Look at all that he gets out of the Hebrew in the main text. Huge. Vehem tuku leraglecha. Okay. So Lauren, what do you have for tuku?
It just says they let themselves be centered at your feet.
Yes, we discussed this. I need to write this in. It's from the word toch, okay, which
right, amidst you were
did,
amid.
I know, isn't that sad commentary on my memory? Let me put this in. Okay, thank you, because I totally remember you now saying it. Okay. Okay. But center themselves, maybe. Okay, at your feet. So here we go. Vehem, look at this. Vehem mit amtzim, meaning it's like they gave themselves strength. They in other words, it's trying to really strain. It's trying to work hard. Okay, or they gathered strength, something like that. What do you have, Lauren?
They place themselves.
Yeah. Okay, but
so maybe it's
mit matzim.
But the word sam is a samech, right, and not a.
What are you saying?
Like to place, to put is that's sam, not sam.
Is with a sin. Is with a sin. Right. It's not a tzaddik. Okay. But this is mit matzim. Okay.
Yeah. It just says they place themselves.
Well, this mitkansim is from kanos, right? To enter, to gather, the tachat silcha. So
after that is right in the middle of and entered beneath.
Yes. Underneath your shadow.
Yeah.
Your shadow. Mm-hmm. So, in other words, it's something to the effect of they gathered strength, they made an effort. That's what it's basically saying, I believe. They with effort, they took some trouble over this, okay, and gathered together under your shade. Yisa midabrotecha, right? They journeyed according to your words, something like that. If we want to go that way. Mekablim gezerotecha, they accepted your edicts. Right. This is I'm trying to figure out what this Hebrew word is. Would you believe? Could be datotecha. Okay, that's got to be what the word is. Gzerotecha v'datotecha, your laws, besimcha, with joy. Right? In other words, so Yisa can mean to lift up. So they were uplifted by your commands. That's how Rashi's understanding the Hebrew. They accept your. They don't. Forgive me, all of you. They didn't have the attitude of "Ain't no one going to tell me what to do," right? And rather the opposite. They were only too happy to accept God's edicts and His laws. Ve'ele divreihem, and these were their words. In other words, the next verse is going to be the words of the Jewish people. So again, Moses is addressing God in these early verses of Zot HaBracha. Here we go. Famous passage they teach children. Torah tziva lanu Moshe. The Torah which Moses commanded us. Wow, there's a lot of birds.
It's also what we sing when we're like dressing the Torah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Torah tziva lanu Moshe.
That's right.
Torah tziva.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rasha Kehilat Yaakov. It is the inheritance, okay, of the congregation of Jacob. Okay, this is something that is our inheritance, and again, there's there's a lot of metaphoric implication in what he's saying here, right? And certainly at the very beginning, before he even starts to bless the tribes, the degree to which our love of Torah, our love of it from its intellectual standpoint, our love of it, perhaps even more importantly, that we sense it is our connection to God, it is our direct pipeline to the divine, the fact that it controls our lives, that we are willing to bring our own lives under the control of the Torah. All those sorts of things that is being said here. And, you ask about, do people like having inheritances? I don't know anybody who doesn't, okay, who considers this to be, the passing on of something very valuable to the next generation. And that's what's being said here, that we feel that way, or that Moses is saying this is what is of merit to the Jewish people, that they have such a love of Torah and what it stands for. And this is the basis, right? Remember I said that what Moses does to begin with is to try and set up the Jewish people in a way that they are worthy of the blessings that are about to come. That it isn't just a freebie. It is something that in fact they deserve, because earning something is so different from getting it just as a free, as a gift. And when you earn it, it's a much more, it gives you a sense of worth and dignity. It's a much more dignified issue than when you have to feel like you depend on the gifts of others instead of being able to earn those things.
Yeah, it's a more rewarding experience, right?
And that's what he's saying. He's saying that to some degree, the Jewish people, and maybe to a great degree, he's saying, deserve the blessings that he is about to pronounce on them. Okay. We'll keep going. Unless you'd like to make some comments, some general comments on what you're feeling about what we're reading right now.
There's a Rashi.
Let's see. Well, is it here? Let me see. Okay, let me make sure we have it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's get this Rashi done. Torah, right? Asher tziva lanu Moshe, the Torah which Moses commanded us. Please understand this, that is not insignificant, because Moses was a human being. And one of the biggest arguments people argue against the validity of the Torah that I hear, I've heard it more often at other times, but I definitely hear it a lot. Well, it was just composed by men. And of course, these days, we're not talking about men, we're talking about males, right? And so clearly it's not really doesn't have the value that you're trying to put on it, because it was composed by human beings. And this is saying, the Torah was commanded to us by a human being. But the trust, that Moses was a reliable prophet, and that he was a great prophet. Shakespeare was a human being. Mozart was a human being. Bach was a human being. Picasso was a human being. But the truth is, what they brought into the world was outstanding. And the truth, and again, going back, who ultimately is in control of human beings? And it's true, we are given gifts. And yes, it's up to us to develop those gifts, but it isn't something that simply originates with us. And to understand that Moses' ability to be able to articulate Torah and to articulate divine commandments, it isn't that we worship Moses. We make it very clear we don't worship Moses. We trust Moses. He is Ne'eman. He is faithful. And so the Torah that Moses gives us, yes, it demands interpretation, it demands study, but we don't reject it out of hand simply because it was Moses who gave it. And in fact, it is a matter of greatness that we trust Moses to this regard. So, you start to deconstruct what's being said here, and we understand. So, morashahi, right? It is, I would translate morasha as an inheritance, l'kihilat Yaakov, to the congregation of Jacob. Look at this. Achaznuha, we have grabbed it. We grabbed onto it. V'lo na'azvena, and we will not let it go. We will never leave it. So the loyalty to the Torah in this particular statement is what it's about. That whatever greatness the Jewish people has ultimately is from this particular source, to understand this. And yeah. Okay. I am going to take care, David. And I think, okay. So I think this is where I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to take this and put it here. Let's see. There we go. And we'll, with God's, who knows, with God's help, maybe we'll continue next year at this place. So let's see where we are. If I can do this, there it is. Okay, we're here. I'm going to turn this around.
Yeah, JPS had heritage as
Okay.
opposed to inheritance, but
Okay. All right. I'm not
yeah,
sure as to the exact distinction, but
there's a nuance difference, but not much.
but we'd have to try and define what that nuance is.
Right.
Mine says legacy, but I thought I could get-
Legacy. Ooh. They're all synonyms.
They are, but I like the idea of legacy because to me,
Mhm.
the idea of a legacy is something that one generation that is going to go away, right, passes on to the next generation, keeps it alive. So I love the idea of legacy, and in fact, the idea that as a human being gets older, that as a person gets older and realizes, they're not going to be able to hold on to the things they enjoy, etc., etc., but to know that they have a future generation that is going to benefit from what they have done. That idea of a legacy. So I love that. I need to get back into I want to get back into there, and I want to put in on, you can't see it, but I've got it on my computer, and I'm going to put it in as a legacy.
Yeah, this is nice.
Thanks, Lauren.
God, this whole section, it's all pencil. It's all, I've written so much.
I know.
So many notes.
Right. Well, that's the
when whoever inherits my Tanakh, they're gonna see so much stuff that they will get.
You have to hope. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and thank those who have followed us and hope they've enjoyed this.